What is going on, guys? Happy Monday, feliz lunes, and welcome back to Cafecito y Croquetas presented by Stay Tranquilo and H&Co. I'm riding solo today, but it's okay because my spirits are high, not only from an amazing weekend, but an amazing sports weekend. We got to talk about it. We have some more coverage coming down the line, but this weekend was highlighted by an amazing win from the Miami Dolphins over the Buffalo Bills yesterday afternoon. It was an upset win, taking down our division rival at home. And they weren't the only ones to win. We saw wins from all major sports teams. Inter Miami took care of business. The Miami Heat took care of business. The Miami Hurricanes took care of business. Just an overall amazing sports weekend here in South Florida. All the teams got some love. All the teams got some W's. And it's an amazing way to kick off this beautiful Monday and this beautiful week. And to highlight this week alone, it's going to get cold, guys. It's finally going to be sweater weather in Miami. The cold front is finally here. We've been talking about it bits and pieces every week. It's feeling chillier. It's feeling a little bit cooler. But yeah, it's here. Tomorrow, we're going to be waking up in the 40s. I believe it's going to be 49 degrees when we wake up tomorrow. Listen, guys, let me give you a little bit of a weather forecast of the week to kind of tell you what these temperatures are going to be. I believe tomorrow will be the coldest it's going to be throughout the whole week. But tomorrow, I see we're going to be waking up in 49-degree weather. The highs are going to be in 68. The next day, the lows are going to be in the 65, highs in 74. Thursday, lows in the 60s, highs in the mid-70s. And then Friday, ya se va a calentar la cosa. So we have a nice week. We have a nice week of being able to rock some sweaters, bring out the sweatpants, bring out the long pants, bring out the sports jackets. I don't know about you guys. I thought you like the cold. It's a breezy, the wind chill. I'm not a fan of the cold, guys. I'm going to tell you straight up. I'm not a fan of the cold. You can ask anyone in this building. I'm not a fan of the cold. The cold isn't for me. Do I like a little nip? Sure, yeah, and it's not bad, to go outside and feel a little bit of nip. But when you get into the 40s, guys, I'd rather stay inside. That's just me. That's me personally. But it is nice to, take advantage of the weather, go outside, have some outdoor dinners. When realistically, you really can't do that too much throughout the year. So you got to take advantage of it. You got to go outside, enjoy this weather. It might be here sparingly. Hopefully, it cools down again in the later months, probably December. But it's gonna be cold this week. It's gonna be chilly this week. So we got to take full advantage of it as we go through it. But getting into some news for this week, we talked about it earlier. Miami Freedom Tower finally opened back its doors after some much-needed renovations. We were super happy to see that Cuban, kind of monument kind of opened its doors back up for the community. And just recently, Miami-Dade Public Schools had over 250 students visit the memorial, I believe in unison with the Victims of Communism Memorial Day. Right, that's what they're commemorating it is. So basically, they're able to go in and get a deep dive of the Cuban regime, the Cuban history, kind of everything that surrounded it, with the communism, with the regime of Fidel Castro, and you had students, I believe, from American Senior High, Barbara Goldman, and they're able to just be there and really just live that experience. We talked about it earlier in the earlier months. Just what that memorial means and the amount of education it can bring to not only people that lived through this regime, but the second, third generation Cubans that are were born here but don't really have that connection to the history of Cuba. So it's amazing to see that they're really taking full advantage of these doors being opened back up, and that they're actually putting students here to really be educated about the history of Cuba and the regime. And I think, almost 300 students were there, which is amazing to see. It's amazing to see the community engagement. So really, really good stuff to see that the youth is connecting with the Latino culture. Some other news. Andre, we're a fan of this. We talked about it earlier. The Comet from Another Dimension, which has since been named Three-Eyed Atlas. So it's no longer a comet that might be, striking the U.S. or striking Florida. It's going to pass Earth. But now they're saying this thing is has a tail and has engines. Listen, guys, I'm no stranger to conspiracies. They they think this thing might be alien. People are saying no, don't listen to it, but people are like, maybe, maybe you don't know where it's from. Apparently, it's breaking apart, like how space shuttles do. They see tails. I don't know, Antonio. What do you think? More information on it. It's becoming quite the quite the conspiracy. We said earlier that it was first, I believe, seen in Chile when it first entered back in September, and as it's gotten closer to Earth, they're getting a better look at it, and they think this thing might be from. We know it's from another dimension, but now they think this thing is has life on it. So stand by on that. They say it's likely larger, that it's gotten smaller, that it's changing shapes. Some people think it's changing colors. Looks like it has a backwards tail. I'm just reading all this right here, guys. I'm trying to educate myself as we go through this because this is all we're here for, the education at the end of the day. Comment what you think it is. Do you think it's just we're thinking too much into it, or if you think that it might be a thing? I don't know. I've always thought that maybe there is some life out there. We don't know what's out there in space. It's so vast, just outside of our own galaxy. But now they're saying that this thing might be extraterrestrial. So keep an eye on that. Stay updated. And it's getting closer to Earth, so we're going to be getting better and better looks at what this thing might look like. But yeah, might be an alien, guys. It might be an alien. De madre, guys. I don't know what to tell you. But as we wrap up this segment, right, we have to pay some homage to an iconic spot that just recently closed its doors back in October. Wall's Ice Cream, right there across from Big Cheese. An iconic spot. You get your pizza, you get your pasta, then you go over to Wall's for ice cream. Closes doors after a historic 20-year run serving ice cream there in that, right by the UM area, right off US 1. It finally closes doors. We all remember the iconic kind of spot, the red and the red and white stripes on that building. But yeah, it finally closed down, unfortunately, after 20 years. But very iconic. Had so much history behind it. So many people, with families there. People, after late nights, they would go to Walls, get their ice cream. But we definitely got to celebrate what the icon that they're leaving behind, the history that they're leaving behind after 20 years of serving their ice cream sundaes, their ice cream challenges. So an applause for Walls, and obviously we'll remember them for the iconic spot it was. But overall, that's pretty much just a little recap for your Monday news. There's obviously going to be a lot of stuff going on probably this weekend as we get into the December months, as we get into closer to Thanksgiving. But overall, enjoy this weather, enjoy the time, watch out for the aliens, and always have your cafecito on deck. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you on Wednesday for another exclusive interview with some of the amazing people that we're bringing onto the show. Stay tuned.